Hey everyone, it's O. Today we're diving into a topic that deeply affects millions around the world: homelessness. It exists everywhere, and Muslim-majority countries are no exception. We're taking a closer look at the top 10 Muslim-majority countries most impacted by homelessness, exploring the reasons behind the numbers and uncovering potential solutions. Get ready to learn about the challenges these nations face and how we can work towards creating a world where everyone has a place to call home. Afghanistan, a nation scarred by decades of conflict, finds itself at the top of our list. Homes reduced to rubble, families scattered, millions displaced, seeking refuge in makeshift shelters or on the streets, struggling economy, limited access to basic resources. Rebuilding infrastructure is critical, a future worth striving for, where peace and stability pave the way for a brighter tomorrow. Our journey takes us next to Pakistan, a nation grappling with a different set of challenges. While not ravaged by conflict in the same way as Afghanistan, Pakistan faces a severe housing crisis. Rapid urbanization and population growth have put immense pressure on existing infrastructure. Imagine cities overflowing with more people than available homes. This shortage leads to skyrocketing rents and pushes low-income families to the brink. Many find themselves priced out of the housing market, forced to seek refuge in slums or on the streets. The way forward lies in implementing affordable housing schemes. Imagine government-funded projects that provide safe, decent housing options for low-income families. These schemes could offer a lifeline, a chance to escape the cycle of poverty and build a better future. Social protection programs are equally crucial, providing financial assistance, job training, and access to health care. Our exploration takes us to Yemen, a nation caught in the throes of a devastating conflict. Imagine a country where bombs rain down, hospitals lie in ruins, and access to food and water is a daily struggle. The conflict has created one of the world's worst humanitarian crises, leaving millions displaced. Families are torn apart, forced to flee with nothing but the clothes on their backs. Yemen's infrastructure is decimated, leaving people without basic necessities. The most pressing need in Yemen is peace. A cessation of hostilities is crucial for humanitarian aid to reach those in need. Chapter 4: Syria, picking up the pieces of a shattered nation. Our journey through the heart-wrenching reality of homelessness leads us to Syria, a nation scarred by a decade of brutal conflict. Imagine a country where the streets are lined with bombed-out buildings, where the air is thick with smoke and dust. The Syrian conflict has displaced millions, leaving them internally displaced or seeking refuge in neighboring countries. Imagine families huddled together in overcrowded refugee camps, longing for the day they can return home. Rebuilding Syria is a mammoth task, one that requires a concerted global effort. Imagine a future where Syrian businesses reopen and people have hope for a brighter future. Chapter 5: Somalia, weathering the storms of conflict and climate change. Our exploration of homelessness takes us to Somalia, a nation grappling with the devastating consequences of both conflict and climate change. Imagine a land of scorching deserts and unforgiving droughts, where access to clean water and food is a constant struggle. Decades of conflict have weakened Somalia's ability to cope with these challenges, leaving its people vulnerable to displacement and homelessness. Imagine families forced to flee their homes due to drought, their livestock decimated by lack of water and pasture. They arrive in already overcrowded urban areas or makeshift camps, seeking aid and a glimmer of hope. Enhancing disaster risk reduction and management is crucial for Somalia, including investing in early warning systems and building resilient infrastructure. Imagine a future where Somali communities are better prepared for droughts and floods, where early warning systems provide ample time to evacuate, and where resilient infrastructure can withstand the impacts of extreme weather events. Chapter 6: Nigeria, navigating the urban jungle. Our journey takes us to Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation, grappling with the challenges of rapid urbanization and economic instability. Imagine megacities bursting at the seams, with sprawling slums and informal settlements housing millions. Nigeria's booming population and rapid urbanization have outpaced the development of affordable housing, leaving many struggling to find a place to live. Imagine families crammed into overcrowded rooms sharing communal toilets and kitchens with multiple households. The lack of affordable housing has a ripple effect, leading to poor sanitation, the spread of diseases, and increased crime rates. Addressing Nigeria's homelessness crisis requires a multifaceted approach, including policies that encourage the construction of affordable housing and investment in urban planning. Imagine a future where Nigerian cities are designed with the needs of all residents in mind, where affordable housing is readily available, and where slums are replaced with safe and thriving communities. Chapter 7. Iraq, Rebuilding Lives, Rebuilding Hope. Our exploration of homelessness takes us to Iraq, a nation struggling to rebuild after years of conflict and instability. Imagine a country where the scars of war are still visible, where bombed-out buildings serve as stark reminders of a painful past. The conflict in Iraq has displaced millions, leaving them internally displaced or seeking refuge in neighboring countries. Imagine families living in makeshift shelters or overcrowded camps, longing for the day they can return home and rebuild their lives. The destruction of infrastructure has exacerbated the housing crisis, making it even more difficult for displaced families to find safe and affordable housing. Rebuilding efforts in Iraq must prioritize the construction of homes, schools, and hospitals. Providing access to education and healthcare is crucial for healing the wounds of conflict and creating a brighter future for Iraq's next generation. Imagine a future where Iraq is a beacon of peace and prosperity, where all its citizens have the chance to thrive. Our journey through the complexities of homelessness takes us to Sudan, a nation grappling with political instability, economic hardship, and the legacy of internal conflict. Imagine a country where poverty is widespread, where access to basic services like healthcare and education is limited, and where many struggle to make ends meet. Imagine families living in precarious conditions, vulnerable to displacement due to conflict, natural disasters, or economic shocks. The lack of affordable housing options forces many to live in informal settlements or overcrowded conditions, with limited access to sanitation and basic amenities. Addressing homelessness in Sudan requires a multi-pronged approach. Investing in economic empowerment programs is crucial to create job opportunities and provide people with the means to support themselves and their families. Imagine a future where Sudanese citizens have access to microloans, vocational training, and other opportunities to lift themselves out of poverty. Expanding access to affordable housing is essential, involving government-funded housing projects, subsidies for low-income families, and policies that encourage private sector investment in affordable housing construction. Our exploration takes us to Bangladesh, a nation on the front lines of climate change, facing rising sea levels, frequent cyclones, and devastating floods. Imagine a country crisscrossed by rivers and deltas, where millions live in low-lying coastal areas vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. Imagine families who have lost their homes and livelihoods to floods or cyclones, forced to flee to higher ground or seek refuge in overcrowded shelters. The frequency and intensity of these disasters are increasing, displacing millions and pushing them into poverty and homelessness. Addressing homelessness in Bangladesh requires a two-pronged approach. Investing in climate change adaptation measures is crucial, including building seawalls, planting mangrove forests, and developing early warning systems to mitigate the impacts of natural disasters. Providing affordable housing options is essential, involving constructing cyclone shelters that double as community centers during normal times or building elevated homes that can withstand floods. Imagine a future where Bangladeshi communities are resilient and prepared for the impacts of climate change. Our final stop takes us to Algeria, a North African nation grappling with its own set of challenges contributing to homelessness. Imagine a country with a vast and diverse landscape, from the bustling cities along the Mediterranean coast to the arid Sahara Desert. Imagine young people struggling to find affordable housing in urban areas, often forced to live in overcrowded conditions or informal settlements. Economic disparities, unemployment, and a lack of affordable housing options contribute to the challenges faced by those at risk of homelessness in Algeria. Strengthening social protection programs is crucial to provide a safety net for those most vulnerable, including expanding access to unemployment benefits, healthcare subsidies, and cash transfer programs. Increasing the availability of affordable housing is essential, involving government-funded housing projects, tax incentives for developers who build affordable units, and rent control policies to prevent exorbitant rent increases. Imagine a future where Algerians have access to safe and affordable housing. As we conclude this journey, it's clear that homelessness in Muslim-majority countries is a multifaceted issue, intricately linked to conflict, poverty, lack of affordable housing, and climate change. Addressing these root causes is crucial to creating lasting solutions. Governments, international organizations, and local communities must collaborate to provide affordable housing, economic empowerment opportunities, and robust social protection programs. By investing in these areas, we can create a world where everyone has a safe and stable place to call home. Don't forget to subscribe and share my channel, Explore with Uzi, to stay informed and be part of the solution.